The circus is officially here in town, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? The ringmaster is 50 Cent, who can turn a little side eye into a huge headline. He is also the Lord of Pettiness and the Master of Clapbacks. However, this time it wasn't simply Instagram teasing. No, the live stream of blood, flesh, and fury was recorded from 10 different shaky iPhone perspectives. Think about it. It's easy to block Captain Remy Ma's once faithful protege. She was dropped while standing in the center of the stage, not while spinning bars or dropping heat. And you were right. In front of a stunned audience, he dumps Remy Ma, humiliating her in the most heinous way possible. Additionally, 50 Cent entered the scene like an explosion of legs before the crowd could blink or the hashtags could get traction. Why would Eazy pull such a stunt? What could possibly make 50 lose control in front of thousands? More than anything else, what does this story teach us about loyalty, betrayal, and the breakdown of the so-called power couples in hip-hop? This is not just drama, so listen carefully. We have the receipts. This is scorched earth chaos. Controversies don't just happen. They brewed and simmered, and then, just when they were ready, they exploded. When Eazy the block captain decided to play kamikaze with his own career and publicly dumped Remy Ma, that's exactly what occurred. No, not behind closed doors. Not via direct messaging in silence. Not in some dark subconscious bar either. No, he did it where shame thrives. Under the stage lights, cameras record every smirk, gasp, and cringe made by a live audience. To understand the reasons behind this explosion's impact on the hip-hop business, let's go back in time and look at the turbulent history. Eazy was not just any startup. He was Remy's choice, her project. She co-signed the rookie, backed him, and nearly carried him on her back when the battle rap community questioned whether he deserved a slot. Consider it. Remy Ma, a legendary figure who has endured a great deal, is taking on a younger artist. That's loyalty. Or, depending on how you look at it, that is foolishness. Rumors were going around long before tonight. The picture the Whispers painted was undeniable. Eazy and Remy's bond went beyond business. There were indications that it was too intimate. Some claimed that they were inseparable. Others claimed that she was endangering her marriage to Papoose in order to please him. Did she ever check it out? Obviously not. Denial is a source of energy, not a defense in gossip society. And every time Remy suggested Eazy, every time she shared his name with the world, the whispers grew. Therefore, when Eazy appeared in front of everyone and left her like a pointless Netflix villain, it wasn't just treachery. Her reputation was utterly ruined in a live-action movie. The audience witnessed more than just a man reject a woman. A protege broke off his relationship with his mentor, a student publicly humiliated his teacher, and a prospective lover made his partner look foolish. For more than simply drama, it's Armageddon for reputation. 50 Cent, the wild card, came next. His involvement in a controversy is unpredictable, which is 50's concern. Sometimes it's he who pulls strings behind the scenes. He occasionally serves as the commentator from the sidelines. Sometimes he is the nuclear weapon, as tonight. Witnesses insist that he did more than just answer. He lost it. The second A's remarks resonated. There was a noticeable difference in the 50's face. There's no longer the signature smile, only the kind of anger that makes security guards sweat. According to people inside, you could hear the tension in the room spitting. Eazy said, "It was like watching a bomb detonate in slow motion." The crowd gasped, followed by a boom. 50 rushed to the stage after standing up. Another reported seeing Remy herself hesitate, uncertain between shock and panic, realizing she was losing control of the narrative. Then the scene became significant, instead of embarrassing. This is not the first time that Remy has experienced chaos. To be sure, she survived public feuds, jail time, and industrial politics, but this wasn't an external attack. The person she had put so much effort into building was betraying her. Eazy's public dumping was more than a simple rejection. They sent a message. My need for you has ended. And it's the kind of disrespect in hip-hop that hurts, not just stings. The internet was not a waste of time. With titles like Eazy ends Remy, Live, and 50 is about to end two careers at once, Reaction edits went viral on TikTok, while tenuous backstage leaks on Instagram showed security trying to keep 50 people back. Within minutes, Twitter was flooded with memes. Whether the video was properly manufactured or authentic was irrelevant. It was a simple perception, and perception is power. Eazy's dehumanizing treatment of Remy was something that 50 would not ignore. However, this is the important query. Why would Eazy act in this way? Why would you do such a thing to harm your own career? Some fictitious insiders had theories. He was tired of being seen as Remy's shadow. Some said. Others claimed that he planned to show his independence by using the most severe methods possible. And the most ridiculous notion was that Eazy had discovered something important and shocking about Remy. And in this way, without using words directly, he communicated. They started posting leaked texts on dubious blogs. I can't be tied to her anymore. She's bad for me. Watch what I do next. Were the screenshots of Eazy telling a friend that real? Probably not. But in the world of celebrity rumors, false receipts spread faster than the truth, and each new leak only fueled the flames. Remy Ma stood in the middle of it all, humiliated, betrayed, and obviously regardless of her feelings, the damage was done. The story shifted from Eazy humiliating Remy to 50 stepping into the chaos and taking it to a whole new level after 50 Cent exploded. According to witnesses, he yelled at Eazy, pointing fingers and threatening consequences. Some even claimed he pushed security aside to get closer, while others claimed he only screamed, his words lost in the commotion. Fans immediately started to debate whether 50 Cent was defending Remy, upholding hip-hop's code of loyalty, or simply using the chaos to reaffirm his position as the culture's ultimate chaos conductor. One thing is for sure though, the energy in that room was radioactive. People weren't just watching a beef, they were watching careers fall apart, alliances fall apart, and a legend reaffirms his dominance in the most brutal way possible. The million-dollar question is what exactly happened backstage after 50 Cent exploded on Eazy. From irate conversations to actual violent altercations, the reactions differ depending on which leaked source you believe. One insider told a gossip blog, 3 security guards had to hold back 50 monkeys he had prepared to attack. Since the days of the jar roll, he has never been so irate. Remy Ma herself tried to step in, yelling at the 2 men and begging them to stop before things got out of hand, according to another alleged witness. Then came the most dramatic version. A purported voice memo leak said that a man who sounded suspiciously like he was 50 years old shouted, "You don't disrespect her in front of me. I'll bury your career myself." Was this an actual incident? Not possible. Did supporters, however, believe it to be true? Of course, yes. The backstage revelations fueled the fire, even though social media was already on fire. There were countless Twitter threads with analysis. Videos and images appear to be from the Zapruder footage, with fuzziness and slow motion frame by frame. Watch when 50's arm grabs Eazy's hoodie. Stop at 014. You can see Remy is crying. Undoubtedly, Papoose is coming in. Wait, what's making him smile? Yes, you have heard accurately. Papoose was suddenly brought up as well. It was not confirmed by clear footage. But so what? The internet went into a frenzy due to the rumor alone. If that were true, Remy's husband had seen her embarrassment to begin with and then spoken to Eazy on her behalf. A prescription for a drop in virality, eh? As a result, the blogosphere went into overdrive. The headline was a shout. A fight breaks out backstage after Eazy dumps Remy. Did Papoose play a part? Leaked audio. According to 50, Eazy's career is over. Remy Ma got enmeshed in the bloody conflict between Eazy and 50. No one could prevent the narrative from getting out of hand. However, fans were not simply absorbing the chaos. They were wielding it as a weapon. Memes had gone viral everywhere. The caption of one of the viral images read, "When your side project side-eyes you on stage, Remy seemed shocked." In another, a career was so effortlessly photoshopped into a trash can. This was followed by the 50 Cent memes, which showed people yelling, laughing, and throwing chairs with the caption, 50 when loyalty gets tested. But the most amusing memes weren't just jokes. They were included in the narrative themselves. With every exaggerated photo and ironic caption, the scandal got worse. All of a sudden, the internet was not only reacting to history but also actively rewriting it. Moreover, this is where the investigative findings start to become wild. According to a questionable exclusive report, Remy had spent thousands of dollars on Eazy's advertising, studio time, career, and even personal hygiene. For emotional pain and violation of trust, she was now considering suing him. Was there any legal basis for that? Probably. False invoices and screenshots of alleged contracts with Remy's signature hidden, however, were included in the dossier. Were there any? Obviously not. However, the culture of gossip regards a blurry screenshot as gospel. Then the Globe was shocked by a rumor. Eazy didn't abandon Remy all at once. He got paid. According to documents one blog claimed to have, a rival label paid him a hefty sum to publicly humiliate Remy, knowing that it would harm her profile and generate turmoil in the industry. And who was to blame? The rumors included unidentified executives and former rivals of Remy. But the idea itself was explosive. Eazy may not have been only irresponsible. Perhaps he was a pawn. Self-described insiders were suggesting that this was more complicated than it appeared in YouTube comment channels. 50 just responded to this premeditated attack on Remy Ma, destroying the plot. All of a sudden, the issue was not only about treachery, it was about industry strife, intrigue, and sabotage. And all the while, Remy Ma said nothing. She didn't post any content. She didn't say anything. It wasn't a clap from her. She was known for her sharp tongue and tough bars, but her silence was more powerful than words. Supporters couldn't agree on what it meant. Some said it was decency and that she was acting with honor. Some said it was proof of guilt and that she and Eazy were not just professionals. Quiet, however, does not protect you in this game. It merely lets others direct the narrative. In the meantime, 50 Cent capitalized on the misunderstanding. He posted a photo of a chessboard with the remark, "Play stupid games, win stupid prizes." Fans went bananas. Was he pleading for mercy? Did he have a bigger storyline in mind? Each mysterious remark fueled the dispute, and each post was examined in depth. By now, the mainstream media had started to report on it. The Shade Room and the Entertainment Tonight complex were among others who jumped on it. Late-night television hosts even started to laugh about it. When 50 Cent loses control, it's bad because he usually makes everyone else lose, chuckled. One individual entered the realm of pop culture and officially left the hip-hop blogs, but the consequences were already becoming noticeable. Events were easily cancelled by promoters in observance of the culture. The worst part, according to sources, was that people began to question Remy and Papoos's marriage after one endorsement deal abruptly vanished. Was it already down on the rocks? Did this dispute lend credence to the rumors? She frequently posts headlines on her site, such as Remy's loyalty questioned and can her marriage survive this? Every question left unanswered was another blow to her reputation. As if it couldn't get any more obscene, another exclusive source obtained a supposed text exchange between 50 and Papoose. 50 was reportedly ordered to stay in his lane by Papoose, who also complimented him for standing up for my wife. Was that real? Probably not real. But because it was so enticing, fans devoured the idea of tension between 50 and Papoose like sweets. The scandal turned into a raging train that no one could stop. There was a career at stake. Alliances that had once been unbreakable now seemed fragile and ready to break under the weight of humiliation, betrayal, and public indignation, and reputations were on life support. When a scandal reaches the level of courtroom whispers, you know it has moved from laughter to complete destruction. And the storyline went exactly there. By the time the stage smoke cleared and the online memes subsided, the names of Eazy, Remy Ma, and 50 Cent were already linked to the words lawsuit, sabotage, and investigation. First, let's talk about Eazy, the so-called block captain, who came out looking like a shipwrecked captain. Published fictitious court filings stated that Remy's team was preparing to file a lawsuit against him. There was emotional distress, reputational damage, and a breach of professional loyalty, according to the accusations. Why is it that what does that mean anyway? Nobody knew. But there was one clear thing. They wanted blood, Remy's people. And if they couldn't get it on stage, they were going to take it to court. Meanwhile, 50 wasn't just lounging. He allegedly had his own legal team write paperwork to intimidate Eazy by accusing him of defamation. One unnamed source wrote on his blog that 50 doesn't care about the money. He just wants to drag him through the mud. Another said that 50 had already gotten in touch with influential people in the industry to ensure that Eazy's phone would never ring again. Do you know anything? Fans believed it since, at least in his career, 50 is notorious for making adversaries disappear. However, the most challenging circumstance was for Remy. On the one hand, she was degraded, and on the other, she was publicly cast aside as a prop. Her silence, though, was beginning to seem as though disgrace. According to industry gossip, she was reportedly worried about what else Eazy may reveal if pressed. There is a rumor that Remy had another video, a secret voice message that will ruin Remy and Papoos's marriage permanently. Was that real? Not invariably, but the thread alone held fans' attention throughout the chaos. It was a severe response. The sponsors left. Advocates withdrew. Eazy was labeled as unbookable by blogs. According to one promoter, if 50 is against him, nobody in this business will touch him. Period. Within days, the passion of one man had gone from a budding star to radioactive waste. The fallout from Remy wasn't any less harsh. The news headlines screamed, "There are doubts about Remy Ma's judgment. Was her devotion to Eazy fatal? Error? Rumor has it that she was not as smart as people thought and that she let her feelings get in the way of her professional judgment." Worse, supporters began criticizing her marriage to Papoose. Each silent, vacant gaze became proof that something was wrong at home. 50, stronger than ever and untouchable, he came out of this encounter smiling, as he always does. On Instagram, he continued sharing enigmatic content the fans adored. The blurry picture of Remy and Eazy side by side with the word checkmate beside it and the words coming soon. He was more than just a participant in the dispute. He was using it as only he could, weaponizing, controlling, and guiding it. At that point, the repercussions became more severe. According to other websites, the scandal was now in the public glare. For what reason? Since there were concerns about sabotage rewards in the conversation. Remember how easily Remy had been dropped by a rival label? It was reported that investigators were looking into it, treating it as if it were a potential case of fraud or bribery. Imagine the federal government wasting time on a conflict that is driven by hearsay. The headline alone elevated the story from a mess to a significant one, notwithstanding its absurdity. It's also critical to keep in mind the fans. Even while the industry pulled strings, the crowd wrote the final script for this turmoil. Viral edits on TikTok depicted Remy as the betrayed queen, Eazy as the ungrateful villain, and 50 as the avenger of loyalty. Twitter was full of furious arguments. Was Eazy bold or stupid? Did Remy cause the problem? Was 50 right to stand up for her, or did he go too far? Despite divergent opinions, the obsession remained the same. Everyone wished for even though. It meant essentially fabricating the facts as part of the controversy. Eazy's career was in ruins at the end of the week. There were doubts about Remy's reputation. And at 50, he had left a bigger, louder, and more fearful legacy. And thus lies the awful irony. Scandals ruin more than just careers. It rewrites legacy. Eazy would never be recognized for his bars, his fights, or his hustle again. He will be remembered as the one who openly snubbed Remy Ma and infuriated 50 Cent. What people remember of Remy would not be her perseverance, hits, or comeback story. History would remember her as the mentor who took on the wrong project and paid the price accordingly. And 50, he would again be remembered as the leader who always wins, no matter how wild the battlefield is, and the man who thrives in chaos. That is the location of the destruction. There was nothing scandalous about this. Something changed. Reputations were damaged, careers were ended, trust was lost, and the hip-hop community was once again reminded that loyalty is frail, treachery is permanent, and when 50 Cent loses control, everyone else suffers immensely. Therefore, as this drama came to a close, the questions that remained unanswered were more bitter than the answers. Did Eazy undermine Remy of his own initiative or under duress? Was she really so devoted to her defense? Or was it just another opportunity to take charge of the narrative? Will Remy be able to move past this humiliation? Has her legacy and the night her protégé set her on fire and 50 poured gasoline become inseparable? There is no doubt that hip-hop's legacy will always be scarred, even if the topic is no longer in the headlines. By now, the stage has turned into a combat zone. A pupil who, thinking his tutor was intelligent, publicly abandoned him. A legend who began to feel humiliated. And a titan who, after angering out, came out stronger than ever. This goes beyond mere gossip. This exemplifies what happens when hip-hop personalities collide in public, the cost of loyalty, and the nature of treachery. However, 50 Cent, Remy Ma, or even Eazy are unrelated to the bigger subject. What is really at issue is the civilization itself. Will we see loyalty being traded for clout so frequently? The hand that feeds them will be resisted by how many more? How many more explosions will it take for people to understand that in hip-hop, betrayal costs you not just a relationship but your entire reputation? This is your moment. Was Eazy's decision to leave Remy justified, or did he just destroy the one bridge that mattered? Maybe 50 was protecting the code, but maybe he was just grabbing another viral headline to add to his collection. Is there any chance that Remy could recover, or has this permanently damaged her credibility? Please feel free to express your thoughts below, since I promise that this debate will not end. The bills are available, though the opinions are loud. The truth is hidden somewhere in the midst of the chaos. You've come to the right place if you're seeking more unbiased opinions on the controversies that are making headlines. Click the like button, then subscribe and enable notifications. The next scandal is already starting to arise. Will you be ready when it spills? Is what the question is.